Breaking news in college football. Nick Saban has officially retired after 17 years in Tuscaloosa. I'm going to dive into that in more. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. I'm Brian. I hope you will subscribe if you like what you're hearing on here. Now, just to let anyone who's watching this is this deja vu? No, I actually did a video earlier. It was much too long. I deleted it. It got to 30 minutes long. Guys, I'm just going to talk about this for a few minutes. I'm going to do a video after this to talk about who I think his replacement will be. But so I deleted that video. But I am glad that you are back here. Nick Saban took over the Crimson Tide when he was 55 years old. Let's put this in perspective. Dabo Swinney is 54 right now. So Nick Saban takes over the Crimson Tide. They're not the Crimson Tide that you and I are used to, who goes in and beats everybody, who has the top 3 recruiting class almost every year. It was a different season, a different time. 2007, I think they went 7-6, and then the next year they won 12 games. They've won 6 he won 6 national championships in Tuscaloosa, and don't forget about in 2003 he won a national championship with LSU. In my personal opinion, I believe that he is the greatest college football coach to coach at this point in history. 6 national championships at one school, 1 at another, and he's leaving. 72 years old. And I'm going to give you my opinion on this. I believe he has more fight in him than a lot of guys who were in their 20s. But there comes a time to where you have to call it, because age is catching up with you. So Nick Saban is retiring. There's a lot of people who is questioning who's going to take his place. And I just want to say I wouldn't want to be that guy. The expectations are going to be unrealistically high. The old saying of you don't want to be the man who has to replace the man. In this situation, it's even worse. So I want you to think about all the coaching changes that he's had to make over the years because other programs wanted his offensive coordinators, his defensive coordinators, and other position coaches. So he's had to consistently reinvent himself. You have to think that when he took over in 2007, was the BCS as far as like I think by that time, and I'm having to remember because it's been so long, number 1 versus number 2 just automatically play for the national championship, and then we go into the playoff system. So he's had to go through some changes. He had to change some of his philosophies about offense and pounding it out, on the ground. But the guy just consistently performed at a high level. And if you hate Nick Saban, I mean, that's you. But as far as coaching goes, the guy just kept producing. I mean, you can't argue with it. Let me rephrase that. You can argue with the results just to be defiant, just because you didn't like him or because he continuously beat up on your team. But at the end of the day, the guy was the greatest coach to coach college football, and I think one of the greatest coaches in American sports, period. No matter whether it's in the pros, college, high school, this guy is just something else. And just to continuously produce. Think about it, just a few weeks ago, they took the team who won the national championship to overtime. And so they played them better than Washington played them. Michigan thumped Washington. But they had a really difficult time with Alabama. And Alabama had a good chance at winning that game. But after the smoke settles, Nick Saban is calling it quits. After 17 years in Tuscaloosa, 6 national championships there, 1 at LSU in 2003. I'm going to do a video right after this. I'm going to talk about the potential replacements for Nick Saban. So I hope you'll join me there. If you like what I'm doing, I hope you'll subscribe and you'll pass this along to your friends and your neighbors. As always, go Tigers.